The causes of the Revolutionary War.
Also known as the 7 Years' War, the French and Indian War was the first war the colonials were involved in. The origins of the Revolution can be traced back to this time. This war involved the American colonies, the British, the French, and their Native American allies. The European nations were competing with each other for world resources, military strength, and political superiority. Some nations were upsetting the balance of power.
Another cause of the American Revolution was Pontiac's Rebellion in 1763. This had to do with post-war terms from the 7 Years' War. The colonists tried to settle on the Native Americans' land near the Great Lakes. This caused a great uprising with the Native Americans. This uprising caused tension between the colonists and their mother country, Great Britain.
The English had nearly gone bankrupt saving the colonists from the French and Indian War. So they found new ways to tax them to try and pay for the costs. In 1764, the British put in place the Sugar Act in an attempt to subdue the colonists and pay for the war. The Sugar Act was followed by the Stamp Act in 1765, which required a direct tax on the colonists and a stamp to be placed on anything that was paper in the colonies.
All of this unrepresented taxation led to the frustration and tension from both the Americans and the British, and would eventually lead to the Boston Massacre. The Boston Massacre, known as the Incident on King Street by the British, was an incident on March 5, 1770, in which British Army soldiers killed 5 male citizens and injured 6 others.
The Boston Massacre was followed by the Boston Tea Party in 1773 and was a direct response to the Tea Act. The Boston Tea Party was a political protest by the Sons of Liberty in Boston on December 16, 1773. The demonstrators, some disguised as American Indians, destroyed an entire shipment of tea sent by the East Indian Trading Company in defiance of the Tea Act. Infuriated by the actions of the colonists, the British Parliament passed what is known as the Intolerable Acts. They are a series of punitive laws that were meant to punish the Massachusetts colonists for their defiance in throwing large tea shipment into Boston Harbor.
In 1774, 56 delegates from the colonies, including George Washington, Patrick Henry, and Sam Adams, met in Philadelphia as a direct response to the Intolerable Acts. They decided to boycott British goods, arm themselves, form militias, and appeal to the king, which he would harshly refuse. After the First Continental Congress, the first shots of the Revolution would be fired in Massachusetts. The battles of Lexington and Concord were the first military engagements of the American Revolutionary War. The battles marked the outbreak of open armed conflict between the Kingdom of Great Britain and 13 of its colonies on the mainland of British America.
After Lexington and Concord, both the British and the colonists knew there were no going back. They met once again in Philadelphia at the Second Continental Congress. Here, they decided to officially separate from Britain, made committees selected to draft the reasons for separation, and Thomas Jefferson was selected to write the Declaration of Independence.
The Revolutionary War had officially begun.